Hey, hey, hey. I hope you guys enjoy these, what I'm calling podcast shorts for my Burnout to All Out community. This is just a little peek behind the curtain of the coaching that goes on inside of my programs. We're bringing to you some of the best nuggets and coaching I'm giving within hot seats of all of our different programs, whether it's our LinkedIn Method Academy, our mini mastermind business basics, all the way up to our higher level mastermind. If you're hearing some of these questions and you're like, man, I wish I could get my burning question answered by Melissa. Hey, guess what? You could be featured on my podcast. If you've got a question that you want answered and you submit it to my team and we pick it, we will bring you here to the podcast for our podcast shorts and do a hot seat with you. Where can you submit your questions? Send them to teamburnout2allout.co. We'll make sure we drop that in the show notes for our podcast shorts. And I hope that you guys find as much value in these shorts as our clients do inside the program. Need some effective tactical advice that actually helps you get results and makes a real difference in your life and business? You've come to the right place. If you're finding yourself here today, it means you're getting ready to gain serious traction in your business, rapidly multiply your income and impact, and you're ready to make it happen while living all out. Guys, I'm Melissa Hinault, your trustworthy corporate dropout turned six-figure business burnout turned happy and healthy CEO of a multi-million-dollar online business. And you're listening to the Burnout to All Out podcast. On this show, we're serving up innovative growth strategies, simple implementation methods to put them into practice, and action-stimulating inspiration tailored specifically for the modern entrepreneur. Let's dive in. All right, Brianne.
Hi there.
Hi.
So it's so funny. What everyone's bringing up today is really speaking to what I'm working through. And I guess you can say I'm in the woo space as a yoga therapist. I bring a lot of Western science and Ayurveda into my work. But I'm loving this program so much that I felt when I started that I was really clear on who I work with and all of this. And the more that I get into it, it's like, it's confusing and it's overwhelming. And the more I start working on my branding and my content, which I'm super excited about, I feel like I'm going in this direction and then I'm going in this direction. And I really need to find that through line so that I can keep moving forward with the motivation that I have behind me and within me. So I started off thinking that I'm really wanting to work with women navigating midlife transitions, how to navigate change, specifically around identity. And the big question I'm working with is, who the F am I? And as I look through all my past clients over the years, the ones who have really gravitated towards me in larger numbers and who I've loved working with, and they do the work, they buy the packages, they tend to be the good girls, like the former good girls. They've done all the things, they've gone through what they should have done. They got these professional accomplishments and awards and all these things, kind of like who I used to be, still working through. And yet there's a sense of like deep rage under that. It's like, is this all there is? Like, they know that there's so much more. They've been raised in cultures where don't really speak up, but like, I could see it because I'm a yoga therapist. I can see what's underneath there. It's like, oh no, like you've got some power, but it's like, they're afraid of that. And so my question is, how can I continue to move forward with the branding and the writing and all of this, still not being totally crystal clear on who it is I'm working with, but I have a general idea?
So great question. So first of all, I just want to honor that many of you, when you first come in the first month or two, you're going to come in being super clear. But then what happens is you become exposed to new ideas, new thought processes, and it's going to blow your mind in the sense that those terms consciously incompetent and unconsciously incompetent, it's like you come in and you don't really know what you don't know. And then you start turning over rocks and then you're like, oh shit, I never thought about that. And then there's like this learning curve of overwhelm of, okay, now I'm fully aware of all these things that now my head is spinning to where I focus. So know that you are not alone. It's actually normal in that growth journey that everything's being shooken up. And You know what really helped me go from making $1,200 per launch in 2020 to making over $800,000 per launch in 2023? Guys, I'll give you a hint. It wasn't a secret formula. It wasn't a magical hack or strategy. And it definitely wasn't a grind till you die mentality. You guys, it was getting in the right room in front of the right people. And that right circle of influence raises the bar, helping us set new, higher expectations for ourselves and elevate our standards for the life we live and the business we operate. Because the truth is that we don't know what we're truly capable of until we get into the room with the people who are going bigger than us, scaling higher, and showing us what is possible. When you join us in Austin at Burnout to All Out Live this October, you will be stepping into the room. This 2 to 3 day experience, depending on if you go VIP, is the most result-oriented event for business owners and entrepreneurs. It's unlike any other event you've attended. If you're looking for dynamic growth opportunities, cutting edge ideas, a supportive community, and energizing inspiration to help you elevate your business and upgrade your life, you'll find it at Burnout to All Out Live. But I have to warn you, last year the seats sold out weeks in advance. As a matter of fact, our gold VIP tickets, and I'm recording this ad in January, are totally sold out already. They've been snatched up. We do have some silver VIP tickets for that extra third day, and there's a good chance we're going to totally sell out this event again. So if you want in, I encourage you to grab your ticket now before the prices go up and the silver VIP tickets are completely gone. Check out the show notes from this podcast episode for the link to grab your ticket to secure your spot at Burnout to All Out Live 2024, where we will be elevating you. Or if you have a web browser handy, open up a new tab and go to www.burnout2allout.co/live-events. Can't wait to see you there. What I would encourage you to think about that's going to keep you in that, like you said, through point is maybe instead of trying to focus so much on who your exact ideal client is, actually just getting really true to yourself with your own messaging, because it sounds like your own personal journey and your own previous version of self identifies with who you're trying to attract. And so instead of trying to create content for a theoretical ideal client right now, can you just be authentically yourself and share your own journey and your own challenges and be authentic to your own messaging? And that in itself will attract the people who appreciate those aspects. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because the content I'm creating is around me figuring out who the fuck am I? So using my story of getting my autism diagnosis at age 42, like that will really mess you up. Like, who am I all these years? And uncovering all these aspects. And then finally, oh my God, my whole life makes sense. And then my 80-pound weight loss and what that was like being on both sides of the fence, being treated differently. And my personal struggles with distorted body image and disordered eating and my former life as a really accomplished classroom teacher and leveraging that as a Fulbright scholar and having these attachments to these identities. And none of these things are actually who I am. Because again, underneath that, I'm using the lens of yoga and Ayurveda. I know that I'm none of those things, but they still form the journey and the path and the uncovering and the rediscovering.
Each one of those is a story. Like each one of those is a different piece of content. And each one of those is how you overcame, how you came through, how you grew, and how these new methodologies and processes with yoga and what is it?
Ayurveda.
Yeah. How these have been your saving grace. And I think that's where you start. So instead of trying to fine tune a message for who you think your audience is, it's like being your authentic self and sharing. You're going to see who's engaging and who's in the DMs with you. And you're going to quickly start to see who your ideal client is by who's resonating with who you are being and your knowledge.
So the way I'm designing my content pillars, because I have clearly so much I can talk about, is each week is a particular topic. One week would be body and weight image and body image. Another week would be mind. And so my content is structured by the week versus it's just easier for me to manage. But I guess how would I reach out to people and try to connect with the right people if I'm not totally sure who I'm trying to be?
So I think that from that aspect, especially since you're taking this holistic approach, is you don't have to know exactly who you're targeting to start to hover around and engage with other influencers in that space on LinkedIn. And then also knowing gender and price point can really help identify who you're growing your network with. So if you're a higher ticket kind of offer, you're not going to be growing your connections with entry-level employees, right? If women are who you work with, then you're not going to be growing your network with men. So that's like a foundational place that you can play. There's also like researching groups on LinkedIn. But I think that it's finding people who gravitate towards more of this woo space. I can tell you there's a phenomenal community on LinkedIn that are in this space that you can really collaborate with, who have like parallel kind of offers that you can really support each other and piggyback each other's communities too.
So what keywords would I use to research these groups and people?
Well, I think that for you, I would go back to what you're doing. So Ayurveda, you may want to use that keyword and see what comes up for groups, companies, practitioners that are in that space. I would even think about people like chiropractors. Think about folks in the holistic space and looking at power partnerships with people who would be great referrals for you, knowing what you have to offer. So not just looking for the individual customer, but looking for people who have aggregate lots of customers that could be a referral base for you.
I've been shying away from that based on what I've been learning in the program is like target the people who are your potential clients. But what I'm also hearing you say is it's also really important to leverage.
That's the traditional B2B on LinkedIn. We teach the non-conventional or unconventional B2C strategy, but we can't forget about the B2B, which is why the platform was created, to create power partnerships and collaborations and referrals for your business.
Okay, super helpful. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, guys, so much for listening in on today's podcast episode. And I can't wait for you to see my upcoming guest in the next episode. You are going to love this keynote speaker. Hey, here's the deal. If you liked this, please subscribe and leave a review. And you want the latest online business growth strategies and exclusive LinkedIn pro tips sent straight to your phone? Text the word update to 704-318-2285. That is, text the word update to 704-318-2285. Can't wait to see you guys. Come find me over on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, wherever you like to hang. Cannot wait to hear how you are enjoying and applying what you're learning. You guys reach out to me over on social because I love hearing what's resonating with you. When you reach out to me and you send me those personal DMs, they really do impact the content I continue to bring forward to you. So again, come find me, Melissa_Hinault over on Instagram, Melissa Hinault over on LinkedIn and Facebook. Can't wait to see you guys over there.